Hello and welcome back to Money Never Sleeps. My name is Bob Cruces from M&A Wealth. If you'd like more information about what you hear during the show, give us a call at 8669733627 or visit us online at mnawealth.com. And while at my website, click on the page to check out past shows and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. During today's show, we're going to look at the important concept of flexible protection for a healthy retirement. Let's next look at long-term care from an insurance perspective. Though long-term care includes many things when it comes to our day-to-day lives, insurance companies and the government both define it narrowly. The definition of long-term care that's typically used by government programs like Medicaid and insurance includes 6 activities of daily living, or ADLS. I tell clients that these 6 ADLS are the things most of us do every morning to get ourselves ready for the day, including getting out of bed, using the bathroom, showering, getting dressed, and eating, as well as all the needed elements of completing each of those steps. Often, long-term care insurance policies use the threshold of being unable to perform 2 or more of these ADLS as factors in triggering benefits. Many long-term care insurance policies use the threshold of being unable to perform 2 of these ADLS as the trigger for benefits. As you discuss ADLS with your financial services professional, you'll generally see them defined with the following 6 words or phrases: continence, bathing, transferring, eating, toileting, and getting dressed. Let's next consider the importance of having a long-term care plan because I think it's such an essential part of retirement. It's common for many of us to immediately envision a long stay in a nursing home when we hear the phrases long-term care and long-term care insurance. In reality, however, there is much more to long-term care and long-term care insurance. There's a 42% chance that someone age 65 or older will use paid home health care, according to the Administration for Community Living. Think about that. It's not paying a nursing home, it's paying for what most of us think of as the exact opposite of nursing home care. It's paying to keep ourselves in our homes as long as possible before we need to move into a nursing home. The Administration for Community Living also notes that 37% of people 65 and older will become residents of assisted living facilities or nursing homes. So, as you consider your golden years, shift your thinking a bit to factor what it might be worth to you and your loved ones to know that you have as many options as possible when it comes to living in a safe and pleasant environment during your later years. Let's next look a little closer at some statistics. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, 70% of people who are 65 or older will need some form of long-term care in the future. As we discussed earlier, and as is pretty obvious, the longer you live, the greater the chance you'll eventually need some kind of long-term care. Of course, costs vary considerably. Long-term care often happens right in your home, which is generally the less expensive option. That option is also the one many of my clients prefer. The comforts of home often can't be topped. Though the costs of a home health aide or a skilled nurse are considerable, you likely wouldn't require a home health aide or a skilled nurse 24 hours a day, every day. Often people need help for just a handful of hours a day. That said, it's clear that this kind of care is very expensive. And don't forget that it's more than a maybe that you'll need some kind of care, it's a probably. As I'm sure is no surprise, your first option for extra care is often a spouse or child. If you're married, maybe your spouse helps you get dressed or get in and out of the shower. If you don't have a spouse or partner, tasks like those may fall to one of your children. It's important to consider how gradual the aging process often is. While it may be initially manageable for an unpaid caregiver to help, it may become more challenging as time goes by and the caregiver themselves ages or you require more care. I'm sure our listeners who have already been in a caregiving role are keenly aware of the financial, physical, and emotional toll it can take. If it's the spouse providing that care, it can often negatively affect their own health. And if it's an adult child providing that care, they'll often experience financial consequences because of expenses, missed work, or less opportunity for career advancement. On top of all that, if an adult child is caring for a parent, it can put considerable stress on their own relationships and personal well-being. For an aging person, the worry about becoming a burden to someone they love may nudge them to make ill-advised financial decisions. Let's spend the rest of our time today focusing on long-term care insurance. For many people, the first reason they avoid purchasing long-term care insurance is the fear of purchasing something they'll never use. The other reason is often the unpredictability of premiums. Premiums on some older long-term care products were sometimes subject to significant increases, which left the policyholder with 3 less than ideal choices: pay the larger premium, reduce the policy's benefits, or ditch the policy altogether. But in my experience, there's often a third reason people avoid purchasing long-term care insurance, and that reason is many people don't want to contemplate needing these types of services. Accepting that your retirement may not be smooth sailing from beginning to end is certainly an emotional hurdle to get over. Recognizing that purchasing long-term care insurance can be complicated, the insurance industry created an innovative solution, a policy that combines life insurance and long-term care. While this unique combo also has different policies, they all come with advantages, the biggest of which may be that they don't have the use it or lose it aspect of traditional or standalone long-term care insurance. Additionally, some of these policies allow for a return of premium, and there may also be numerous options to meet different needs. There are two basic kinds of hybrid policies. The first is a life insurance policy with an accelerated benefit rider. A rider is an extra clause that covers something that wasn't in the original policy. Essentially, accelerated benefits pretty much means exactly what it sounds like. It means you can get the death benefit accelerated or get access to part of it while you're still alive. The second kind is called an asset-based or linked benefit policy. Typically, this provides more expansive long-term care coverage than a rider, making it a key piece of the overall policy. Let me address asset-based products. Similar to life insurance policies with accelerated benefit features, an asset-based policy provides you with the option to use the death benefit for long-term care expenses. But here's the difference. It often includes a bigger pool of money to pay for long-term care. As with any product, asset-based policies aren't one-size-fits-all solution. This policy might make the most sense if you have a chunk of money sitting in a low-interest account that you don't have earmarked for anything else. Additionally, if your primary need is life insurance, this might not be the best choice for you. You can get a higher death benefit on a standalone life insurance policy. However, for many people, this is a way to take some funds that may be underutilized and leverage them to potentially make a difference in your life, to genuinely take steps to provide meaningful protection for the things that matter most. If you have any questions about your retirement magic number, your retirement strategy, or any other parts of your financial strategy, visit my website at mnawealth.com or call my office at 866-973-3627 to discuss how my team might be able to answer your questions and address your concerns. It's our goal to help you prepare for the retirement you've worked so hard for.
Disclosure: all matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of M&A Wealth and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, M&A Wealth makes no representations as to its accuracy or completeness. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services to residents where permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through M&A Wealth, a registered investment advisor in the state of Texas. Insurance products and services are offered through PNC Life Insurance Agency, an affiliated company. M&A Wealth and PNC Life Insurance Agency are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.